You know what's often missed in historical critical analysis? The human side of how stories come alive. It assumes that because something was written earlier, it must be the original, and anything that looks similar later must have copied it. But life doesn't actually work that way. Just because something was written first doesn't mean it happened first. Ideas often float around, get talked about, passed down, before anyone writes them down. Historical critics treat the page like the starting line, but the conversation started long before that. Here's an example. Imagine I tell my brother a great idea. He runs with it and writes a book. Years later, I decide to write my own version of that idea. Now imagine future scholars look at both books. His came first, so they assume I copied him. But the truth? I gave him the idea in the first place. Historical critical theory often misses that kind of backstory. And not everything that looks the same is a copy. Two people can come to the same idea on their own, especially if they share the same culture, values, or experiences. Historical critics often assume similarity equals dependence. That's a flawed shortcut. Another problem? It assumes the order things were written is the same as the order they were thought. But sometimes the deeper, original idea shows up later in writing because it took longer to get written down. Historical criticism flips the timeline and gets it backwards. The truth is, life is more complex than source theories and written dates. People talk. They influence each other. They share stories. Relationships, community, and lived experience shape what eventually gets written. But historical criticism often strips that all away and replaces it with cold, linear assumptions. So when historical critical theory tells you what must have happened, based only on what was written first, ask yourself, what if the real story was never written down? What if the theory forgot to include life?